Ooh, that's rough.
Good Christ, what smells in here?
Oh, I know. It's the sink. It's the damn sewer gases are leaking through again. It smells terrible in here. Anyways, check out that championship wrestling from Walla Walla last night. It's on the Fote TV app.
Fote TV?
Huh?
Fote TV. Don't you mean Fight TV?
No, it's Fote. It's like a bunch of streams that are illegally hacked iPhone video, I think. Because there's like underground boxing rings, naked deathmatch wrestling, high schoolers fighting at Del Taco's, Impact Wrestling. It's shit that's too raw for Fight TV. It's on Fote.
Speaking of raw, you sure you didn't drop a poop in the corner or something? It smells worse than usual in here.
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I've been sitting here huffing these damn gas sewer fumes so long, I think I lost my olfactory senses. Can't smell shit.
It smells like the inside of an asshole in here, Steve. I'll be honest with you.
It's like that movie Interspace, but if they went in a butthole.
Where's the Febreze? I need a force field of Febreze or Emmys.
You gonna throw up? You gonna do a vomit? Hold on, I gotta get my Fote TV app. I'm gonna record this. Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, come on, puke. Yeah, I'll puke. Come on, yeah, do it. Oh man, we got so many viewers on Fote TV now. Look at this. Oh, he's gonna throw up, everybody. He's gonna throw up. EC dub, EC dub. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Hey, welcome back to 10 for the Win, the show we built our careers on, then got laid off from, then kind of came back to, then left seemingly for good. But it's back because if there's one thing we've learned from professional wrestling, is that nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Let's face it, the body can be an utterly disgusting flesh machine, farting, shitting, sweating.
Yeah, and in pro wrestling, the only form of entertainment where the body is fairly vulnerable to accidents or mishaps at any given time, well, shit happens.
Sometimes literally.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But first, here are the top 10 grossest things to happen in the ring.
Number 10.
Xavier Woods vomits. TNA's X Division at one time featured some of the industry's hottest up-and-coming talents, with the X Division title being the focal point of some amazing matches in the mid to late aughts.
Enough education, get to the vomit.
Okay, fine. During a 2009 five-way ladder match to determine a new #1 contender for the X Division title, Xavier Woods, who was known during his TNA days as Consequences Creed, took a basement Hurricane Rana from Amazing Red, and when his head bounced up off the ground, chunks of puke came shooting out of his mouth.
Red sort of looks up in the air, maybe not quite believing what had just happened, or maybe not realizing, and the match continued. It was pretty messed up. Spontaneously vomiting just ain't cool, man. Oh, God! Oh. What was that about?
What's wrong? What? What's wrong? You said spontaneously vomiting is super cool.
No, I said it's not cool. It's bad. It's not good.
Oh, this is my bad, everybody.
Got some on me.
Number 9.
Mass transit incident. The laundry list of fucked up gross things that happened in ECW could warrant its own list. From Sabu breaking his neck in a match with Chris Benoit in 1994, to Sabu breaking his neck in a match with Taz in 1998, to Sabu ripping his bicep open. Seemingly a list could be made of fucked up gross shit that happened to Sabu alone in ECW.
Yeah, but the nastiest thing ever to happen in ECW ring didn't happen to Sabu. It happened to a child.
But in ECW's defense, they didn't know this was a child at the time. Rather, it was the bloodiest case of age misrepresentation in the history of wrestling.
So, long story short, back in November of 1996, a 17-year-old by the name of Eric Koulos was backstage at an ECW house show in Revere, Massachusetts, stepped up to replace Axl Rotten in a tag match when Rotten couldn't make the show, and told Paul Heyman he was 23 years of age and trained pro wrestling by Killer Kowalski, two things that weren't true.
Yeah, none of it was true. Koulos, who had a bus driver gimmick dubbed Mass Transit, also asked New Jack, one of his opponents in the tag match, to use a blade on him to make him bleed. So he did that, and Mass Transit bled. A lot of blood.
Yeah, although this happened at a house show, there is fan footage of the incident, and it's a seriously disturbing watch Not surprising given 2 of his arteries were severed, and the kid's dad was in the audience too. Towards the end of the match, you can hear him crying out for his son. It's just really messed up.
Yeah, the kid passed out from blood loss. Medics rushed to the ring. A lawsuit was filed. ECW almost lost their pay-per-view provider. But once the truth about the kid's deception was revealed, ECW, Paul Heyman, and New Jack were all cleared of any wrongdoing. In the history of bad ideas in pro wrestling, Larson, where does asking New Jack to blade you rank?
So high. Yeah. Maybe the high.
Way up there.
Yes.
Very high.
Number 8.
A Supreme Fire! ECW spiritual successor / ripoff promotion XPW took the crazy hardcore shit ECW made famous and merged it with the world of pornography, a pairing that at the very least piqued the curiosity of many in the Los Angeles area in the early aughts.
Including us. Back in our college days, Steve, myself, and Big Jeff decided to sample XPW's offerings and went to XPW Rapture at the Olympic Auditorium in July 2001. What we didn't expect was to see a man nearly burned alive.
Yeah, during the finish to a death match between local hardcore wrestlers Supreme and Chaos, pornography actress Veronica Kane doused a table in lighter fluid. Now, we won't get into the mechanics of how to properly light a table on fire for a wrestling spot, largely because we're not wrestlers, so we actually don't know how to do that properly. The funny thing is, neither did porn actress Veronica Kane.
No. So when Chaos and his crew, Enterprise, pushed Supreme onto the flaming table, the excessive amount of lighter fluid Kane used on the table seemingly soaked into his shirt and became like a portly running version of the cover art to Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. That's one with someone on fire on it.
Yeah, Supreme couldn't even catch a break from the guy with the fire extinguisher, who went to put the table out first, seemingly sacrificing the needs of the one for the needs of the many. Eventually, Supreme was put out, given the proper medical care, and before you know it, was putting his body on the line in hardcore matches across Los Angeles County once again. Do you think any lessons were learned that day, Larson?
Yeah, stay away from XPW. That's the lesson old Larson learned that day.
Yeah, I never went back either.
I once saw Supreme at a Togo's in Hollywood, too.
Oh, nice.
Afterwards.
Did he still have an arm?
I mean, he had a sandwich in his hands.
Nice.
Number 7.
Foley's ear! Hardcore legend Mick Foley's battles with Vader back in WCW are some of the more underrated in company history. While mid-90s wrestling is generally considered pretty underwhelming, these two are having a brutal deathmatch feud near or at the top of a card while getting that Ted Turner money.
The feud became so violent WCW eventually pulled the plug on it, but not before one memorable incident left Cactus Jack without a key piece of his head.
Yeah, during a tour of Germany in March of 1994, Foley got himself wrapped up in the ropes by the neck, a risky but not uncommon move called the hangman. Unfortunately for Foley, the ring ropes were pulled extra tight prior to the match, and Foley quickly realized that he literally was hanging himself. He pried his head free from the ropes, but the pressure basically made his ear, come off his head, or at least had it dangling by the thread of skin.
So from there, just took one worked punch from the hand of Vader, and boom, that ear came flying off. The ref grabbed the ear and was sent with Mick to the hospital after the match, but sadly, the doctor could not reattach it.
Nah, Foley used the zone on his head where his ear was missing to great effect over the subsequent years, though, showing it off whenever he needed to cut one of those impassioned promos about how much he'd given to the industry.
Quick, Steve, power rank missing ears in pop culture.
Okay. Number 1, Marvin Nash.
Yeah.
Number 2, opening scene in Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Number 3, Cactus Jack.
You forgot Van Gogh. OG missing ear.
That's right, he was the original. He was crazy as shit.
Number 6.
Sid's leg! Many things in life just go perfect together. Peanut butter and jelly, mustaches and key parties, old men and lemon parties.
And of course, Steven Larson.
That's right, buddy. 2 things that should stay far apart, though, are Psycho Sid and coming off the second rope. A point Sid allegedly made to the producer of his January 2001 Fatal 4-Way main event against Scott Steiner, Jeff Jarrett, and mystery opponent at the WCW pay-per-view Sin. However, for some reason, WCW officials wanted Sid, who at that point had almost 15 years in the business, to start doing aerial moves.
Sid objected, they overruled him, and towards the finish of the match, he tried a big boot from the second rope, a move that required his top-heavy 310-pound frame to stick a landing on one leg. His leg snapped like a twig, fibula and tibula destroyed. Sid collapsed to the mat, holding his leg, which was horrifically dangling mid-shin.
In true WCW fashion, the mystery opponent then came to the ring, unmasked and was revealed to be Animal from the Road Warriors. And well, he stuck to the script and started firing really weak, confused kicks at Sid, who at that point was in no position to sell anything but the undoubtedly intense pain that would result from shortening one's leg by half via, once again, aerial maneuvers.
Sid should be doing aerial maneuvers as much as we should be orgy guys.
Speak for yourself, friendo. You know, you don't actually have to have a mustache to be an orgy guy. That's just a myth.
That's just you kind of retconning your orgy story because you can't grow a mustache.
Oh, that's good. Orgy story. Instead of origin story,
Orgy story.
Number 5.
CZW Flower Holder. CZW's annual Tournament of Death is like Burning Man for death matches, but less smelly and way more bloody for the most part. I'm sure there's been blood drawn at Burning Man, but I doubt it's ever been due to flying shards of light tube.
You never know, man. Back in 2016, Viceland was present at the Tournament of Death to film a mini-doc about death match wrestling. It's currently available on YouTube. It's delightful. Be sure to check it out.
Yeah, but it's definitely not for the queasy of stomach, though. Its most gut-wrenching scene involves the aftermath of a match between Jeff Cannonball and Matt Tremont. A match that saw Tremont ram a Kenzen Flower Holder deep into the skull of Cannonball.
Cameras were rolling as the crew attempted to remove the bolt from the top of Cannonball's head using a set of pliers.
Yeah, it's really tough to watch, although to his credit, Cannonball barely flinched as his scalp skin contorted under the pressure of the pliers. The Kenzen is removed, and although there isn't a ton of blood, it's clear the shape of the top of his head has changed, probably temporarily, but still.
Yeah, still, I don't think head skin is supposed to do that.
We can test it out, though. I have one here.
Oh, God.
Yeah, here we go.
No!
Come on, this
No!
cost me $10. We have to use it.
No!
I paid for this.
I don't care. Use it on your own head.
Get over here!
No!
Number 4.
XPacs rips butthole. You know the phrase, you learn something new every day. What if you learned one day that the butthole, if torn properly, can produce an unimaginable amount of blood?
Such is the case with X-Pac, who had probably pulled off like 1,000 Bronco Busters prior to this fatal four-way match on March 23, 2013 at a Jerry Lynn retirement show in Minneapolis. He sets up Horace the Psychopath in the corner for a Bronco Buster, who then rolls out of the way, and as a result, X-Pac's asshole tries to eat the turnbuckle.
Oh yeah, his poop chute tears open, and X-Pac immediately tells the ref, "I tore my asshole!" And, true professional that he is, goes another 10 minutes in the match, bumping all over the place. According to his interview about the subject on the Sam Roberts show, he even went to an after party in his tights, before realizing that the blood started leaking out from his padding in the seat of his tights.
He goes back to his hotel, and upon removing said tights, a veritable Niagara Falls of blood comes pouring out.
Yeah, imagine the elevator of blood from The Shining was a member of DX. One emergency sphincterplasty later, and all was well with the 1-3 kid.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I see what you did there. You left out the 2.
Because he probably couldn't go number 2 for a while, Larson.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's funny stuff.
This is sharp.
Number 3.
Invader 3 vomits! We've already discussed Xavier Woods barfing up some catering in a previous entry, but this entry involves a guy vomiting up his internal organs, almost.
Well, not quite, but the story behind Invader 3 vomiting up ridiculous amounts of blood seems to be shrouded in mystery. I first came across this match on a VHS tape called Wrestling's Bloodiest Moments I got off eBay, and it stood out because it was basically the only real bloody match on the entire tape, but man, this match, there was a lot of blood.
Yeah, long story short, Manny Fernandez was wrestling Invader 3 in Puerto Rico and came down from the top rope with a knee to Invader 3's chest area. Right afterwards, as Manny climbs up for the second knee drop, Invader 3 starts vomiting up blood everywhere. It was like an SNL skit where someone vomits just an unreal amount of bloody puke. It was horrifying.
Bleh.
Yeah, they had a little tube right here.
Bleh. But the bigger question is, was it real or a work? Rumors are out there claiming Invader 3 ingested pig's blood and a bunch of vodka and puked it up after the first knee for dramatic effect.
The other man involved in the match, though, Manny Fernandez, claimed in an interview with Bill Apter that it was a shoot. It was real. Invader 3 was actually hurt by the knee so bad, he puked his guts out.
I mean, I suppose it's possible, but Manny's knees look incredibly safe from hitting Invader number 3, so we'll probably take a guess that the pig's blood and vodka story, while somewhat batshit crazy, probably closer to the truth than not.
Yeah, to demonstrate, just before we hit record, I ingested pig's blood and vodka, and I will now puke for the second time in this video.
Please don't puke again, because then I'm gonna puke on your puke.
Come on, don't be weak. Puke on my puke.
No, don't do it.
Here it comes.
Don't do it.
Here it comes.
Number 2.
Vaders Eye, as the lyrics to CM Punk's theme song go, look in my eye, what do you see?
If that song's lyrics were written by Vader and not living color guitarist Vernon Reid, the next line would be, Stan Hansen's finger in me.
Yeah, because that's what the notoriously stiff working Vader got when he fought another famously tough grappler in Hansen during a 1990 Tokyo Dome super fight for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He also got his eye ripped out of its own socket.
Oh, that's being a bit dramatic.
He tore his fucking face off, Larson.
Again, dramatic. He accidentally poked Vader's eye and dislodged it from the eye socket. Hansen didn't quite realize what happened, as Vader decided just to shove the eye back in where it belonged and finish the match.
The match instantly went down in wrestling lore. Vader even poked fun at the incident when he inducted Stan Hansen at the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. He wore some silly glasses where one has like a slingy eye thing. Here's a picture, you can see it for yourself. Oh, he's being funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Number 1.
Punk poops! If you're one of the lucky millions who downloaded Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast on Thanksgiving Day 2014, you got to hear about the time CM Punk's health was so mishandled by WWE, he shot himself in the ring during a match against Dean Ambrose on SmackDown.
According to Punk, WWE's medical staff dealt with a misdiagnosed staph infection by loading him up on a steady dose of antibiotics. Punk was so effed up physically that during a match with Dean Ambrose on December 6, 2013, he crapped himself.
Now, Punk is hardly the only person to have shit themselves in the ring. There's actually a long line of wrestlers who have done this. Some of the greats like Andre the Giant, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sid, and John Cena. Just a few of the names have all claimed or had stories told about dropping a deuce during a match.
But wrestlers are prone to telling tall tales as part of the work aspect of the business. Actually seeing the poo-poo, watching the ref grab it and toss it is entirely different and way more visceral.
Oh yeah, if you watch the match, you can practically smell the doo-doo.
Yeah, of course, Punk took it all in good stride. WWE gave him a big raise, main event spot in WrestleMania, all for his troubles.
That's not true.
No, it's not.
No, they fired him on his wedding day, and then their medical guys sued Punk for telling his story and Colt Cabana for hosting Punk on his podcast and indirectly destroyed their friendship along the way. The medical guy was laughed out of the courtroom, and Punk is now publicly negotiating his return to pro wrestling.
Certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, when does that Punk horror movie come out?
I think it's already out, man. It was called Dude Shits Himself on SmackDown.
So there you have it. We probably missed some stuff, so by all means, let us know what we missed in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell thing.
Yeah, and if you want to help support Going In Raw, find us on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson, or hit the join button here on YouTube to become a channel member. Are you feeling okay?
Feel a little left out.
Aw, really?
Yeah.
Did you want to vomit too?
I kinda do.
I got to vomit, you didn't get to vomit?
Yeah, can I vomit, please?
Okay, go ahead and vomit. Well, I immediately regret that decision. Why is it red?
This is my lunch.
No!
I had some pizza.